Well, here we are. It is another gathering of the Netrunner faithful. The three of us still rolling along, going through Terminal Directive. This is the HB side. This is Bad Publicity. This is Corey, Hollis, and Jameson. What's going on, fellas?
Hey.
Hey there, man. What's up?
Doing great.
Anything you guys want to get off your chest?
I got a lot I want to get off my chest, Jameson, but I'll be reserved this time.
Oh yeah. Why is that? Why is that? Do I have to pick up? Do I have to pick up the torch for? You know, I don't really want to do it, but if if you're gonna hold your tongue, I might have to be the real talk off the top.
All I'm saying is that all I'm saying is that Netrunner has gone through a rough spot. I would hope that everyone that is a player and a developer of the game and of the sort would have a fair opinion of the existing meta.
Yeah, housekeeping stuff here, guys. We really appreciate if you could, if you haven't yet, give us a like, give us a subscribe. We're really hitting a tier on Bad Publicity that we're really getting close to hitting an all-time high on our subscriber base. So really appreciate if you could just do that. I mean, it don't cost you anything. So please just like it. Please just subscribe it. Thank you very much for those that do.
Jennifer Lopez, my love don't cost a thing, man.
Oh, you know what? Funny story with Jennifer Lopez.
Oh.
Yeah, she actually liked 3 of our videos.
No.
I knew it was going to happen eventually.
Yeah. She doesn't subscribe, but she watches.
Nice.
Next we have a new Patreon funding card up. So if you're looking for, some cool alt arts and a fun way to help support Bad Publicity, go over to the Patreon and get that new turntable alt art. I think you'll dig it. It's a different style than our last card because that's what we wanted. We want to switch things up.
Yeah, and just to add an extra note, the artist who did that card is my sister, who's done a lot of really cool prizes for a lot of events and stuff that I've helped do. So huge thank you to her because she does this for no compensation other than put her name on it, and I can't give her money. I don't know what's going on, but she just enjoys it. She loves doing it. She has a lot of fun taking these images and things that I send her and kind of putting her own spin on it. So again, huge thank you to her, and hopefully you guys like the card.
Yeah. Now, the last little bit here is something that we struggle and we talked about offline. Recently, there's, unfortunately, there's been a lot of, what's the word here, Hollis? Negative talk. Negative feedback about the state that Netrunners in. Certain people feel like they, that they stand on a soapbox too much. And they really, I don't know, like, do they crave the attention? Do they need the attention? But sometimes, okay, I guess what I'm trying to say here is that despite the constant negative press, Kofifi.
Kofifi. Yeah. Hey, sure. I mean, it's fine. Wasn't an accident at all. That's exactly what was meant to be typed. Got it.
We all know what you meant.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all know.
Wait, you know what I'm talking about right now? Everybody will know what I'm talking about, and and that's all we have to say about that negative press right there.
Yeah, Kofifi.
Kofifi, man.
Kofifi.
All right, fellas.
You don't even live in America. What is happening?
That's great. It's great.
Okay.
Yeah, man. It's different time.
I won't be allowed to come to Gen Con now.
Yeah.
All right, so you know what we're doing this today? We are doing HB. And again, wait, side tangent. All three of us in this column here will be at Gen Con. Will be participating in probably most of the FFG events. So we'll be around the FFG headquarters. Make sure you hit us up, talk to us. We'll probably have a bunch of old bad publicity promos and stuff like that. So maybe if you tap us on the shoulder, tell us you're a fan of the show. Tell us that you're liking and subscribing, or I don't know. We might do something.
I do require a high five.
Yeah.
You must high five me in order to receive a promo. And it has to be a good one. Look at the elbow. Watch the elbow.
We got to do one of those weird things like most of the booths, right? Like find us and show us that you're following us on Twitter, and we will give you a prize.
And then you could just unfollow as soon as I give it to you.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like, crap. He knows the trick. Just as easy to do that as well.
And they done
just to add to that
again, right?
With all of us being at Gen Con this year. So sorry to those who did not make it into the insanity that was the L5R pre-registration. I can say that all three of us made it into Thursday's inaugural, and only one of us made it into Friday's event.
Not it.
Circle takes square.
Congrats, by the way. Congrats.
Yeah,
awesome.
he won the lotto on that one. So nice job, nicely done.
I know.
So yeah, there's gonna be a lot of cool stuff going on at Gen Con. We're gonna be checking out a lot of stuff with FFG, and some of us are pretty excited to try out this newfangled old L5R LCG they got released in there.
Newfangled old.
Yeah, we're gonna give that guy a spin. Put it through the ringers. But in all honesty, we are so far away from that. We'll be knee deep in probably Boggs' cycle by then. So looking forward to that as it gets closer. I'm looking forward to see like what this cat's got up his sleeve. And he is due for an appearance on Bad Publicity soon. So guys, tune in. Make sure you tune in every time, because who knows when he's going to be here. You don't want it to be like the Pokeroo and he shows up and you miss him.
Right. Nice.
I was just going to also just try to prop it up. I know that, so I checked Gen Con recently, and based on what I'm seeing, there's still a lot of events, there's still like a lot of slots left for the Netrunner tournament on Friday. Now, I know that other people may have found other things to do during the Gen Con. I mean, it's pretty big, but Netrunner has 207 tickets left for the North American championship. So if you're going to be at Gen Con and you have a Friday, possibly Saturday,
well, you say there's how many left? 207.
207. I want to say they had 250.
Yeah, I was going to say I think there was like 250. So right now you're if you buy a ticket and drop,
you're making day two.
You're guaranteed.
You're in.
But,
you're day two right
that's what I got.
But I will say, last year the Netrunner event was a slow burn. It wasn't like a quick sellout either. It took a little bit of a build up before it started getting there.
Yeah,
everyone was fanatical over the new hotness.
It'll come.
Yeah, I'm also just random. Sorry, we'll get onto this episode. I was recently introduced to this card game called Exceed that I've kind of been a little bit addicted to as of recently. And I'm actually playing an event on Saturday. I'm going to get massacred in this, but I'm going to have a great time. It's a neat little game. Check it out. If you like fighting games, like 2D fighters, it's a cool little card game.
And there is, I heard there's also like another special bonus this year. I talked to the guys at Gen Con, and they said because I'm coming down, they're doing some special 50th celebration.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
nice.
I'm invited once every 50 years. So this time we'll wait another 50, and I'll be at the 100.
Nice. There's this whole special ceremony and everything they go through.
It's probably, man.
Yeah. There's like poutine and all the vending.
Oh, here we go. Bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on. But you know what though? I really hope that a good chunk of the people that I've met coming down to Worlds and at these events, I don't really have like a contact list where I keep in touch with everybody on a regular basis. But man, I tell you, if everybody that shows up that was in that FFG side room where we got that cheap ass beer and played Captain Sonar for like, I don't know what it was, like 16 hours.
God. Captain Sonar is the best.
That actually individually was one of the best moments of Worlds, right?
Yeah.
Like that was a really good time.
Yeah, man. And so I hope to recreate some of that magic with some cheap liquor and some good buddies. So don't hesitate to reach out to us. We will all be there, and I'll be fueled on Red Bull, so I probably won't have to sleep and can just keep going.
All right, we ready to dig into this episode?
I think so.
We've had enough pre-game chatter.
Yeah, but I mean that's what people come for, right? That's
right.
Everyone thinks the previews are better than the actual feature. Fellas,
right.
HB, who wants to kick this off?
Not it.
All right,
Hello?
I got it. I'll be the card guy.
Yeah,
I like being the card guy. I'm probably gonna pronounce this incorrectly.
I was gonna say once they get easier to pronounce, Hollis and I will rotate in.
Yeah, this is why you guys trapped me. You wanted to see how I was gonna say the name of this card.
Yep.
I don't know if it's pronounced like cider. Laboratories Destiny defined. Sorry, man, I'm butchering already. Here we go. Identity Division, deck 45, influence 15. The first time each turn the runner loses or spends a click during a run, you can add one card from archives to the top of R&D.
Whoa.
Recursion in HB. Never before have I seen... Oh, wait, no. Sorry. A lot of recursion in HB. I mean, the initial idea is right. This is a pretty neat ability. If you look at... I think it's probably the uses I've seen is like if you do something like traps, or it's a nice way to filter and kind of keep your R&D safe if you throw like a snare, or if you just throw extra cards down to kind of prevent them from seeing something if they're only single accessing. But in order for you to get that ability, you have to fire off a condition that's not one of the easiest things to do in Netrunner. Like, even if you run with a lot of Bioroids, it's still hard to make the runner spin clicks.
Yeah.
So I know there's some cards that'll play into that, and I'm going to start off. I'm going to be that guy. But is this better than ETF? No.
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely, yeah. It's just not.
I respect what this idea is trying to do. I think it's an interesting idea if you want to try to play one of those like click compression. People are always trying to get these decks that just like chew clicks away from the runner. But
make Hourglass great again.
Yeah. Oh, Hourglass. But those decks are still probably better being played out of ETF.
Oh man, I forgot. I need my Trump quote counter. That's 2, by the way, for this episode. You know what I think is got me about this card is that I really think it's too late to the party. This probably should have been either if you look at how the release schedule of the cards were, and how early Haas-Bioroid had the Bioroid ice and lose clicks, and they had the Ruhr Valley strong box, all that other hoopla stuff wrapped in the little package. This ID is the ID that probably should have been either the first or second HBID that came out. It's really late to the party, and I don't even know if I would gravitate towards this even if there was no ETF.
Yeah. What would you play instead? What would have been your other option?
Oh, what is it? Cybernetics Division?
Oh, okay. But I mean, you also would have like Stronger Together.
What?
Everyone,
and I'm not one of
everyone's
the
laughing.
I'm not one of the CI7 crew. Those
Yeah.
I'm not one of the 7 horsemen of the apocalypse. I really like what this is trying to do.
It's a cool theme
based off the click, but unfortunately, okay. Second question, follow up to even. I'll cut myself short. How many times do you think this fires a game?
I mean, the truth is that really depends on that depends on a couple factors, right? It depends on the actual ice that the runner's using and if it's sufficient to break through the Bioroids you're going to include in the deck, because that's what you're going to include. You're going to include Bioroids to some extent, right? And a combination of that, and actually whether or not they, on the runner side, want to allow you to trigger it. I think that's the biggest weakness of the deck, is that because even if you use Bioroids, which for the cost and strength are fairly efficient, as for you on your side, the runner still gets, even with that efficiency being in the favor of the corp, the runner still gets the option to say, okay, so while you have this efficient level of ice that I would normally just kind of consider spending clicks as opposed to actual credits, maybe on occasion, now I get direct control if your ability fires in a pretty large way. And that's sort of the weakness to this idea in general, is that with ETF, they can't really interact with it. They can't prevent you from getting the credit. What you were doing on your turn, or from advanced assembly lines on the runner's turn, means that you're going to gain the credits regardless of what the runner does for the most part. But the runner gets to influence this.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you even compare this to other IDs that kind of put a trigger in the runner's hands, right? Probably a comparison would be maybe like Pilana, right? It gains credits when the runner draws cards. Well,
yep.
Runner's going to draw cards.
Yep.
Runner's not always just going to spend clicks during a run.
Yeah, and then you spend too much time tuning to the second half, like lose a click, right? Like, how many times are they going to get tripped up on an Enigma?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And at the end of the day, if it's early game, you're not really getting anything, right? You might put like a hedge fund back on top of your deck. That's cool.
And I think if you really sit back and look, I think one of the best tools HB had to cut into the runner's turn was enhanced login protocols as the current, but that doesn't even trigger this, right? Because it's an additional cost to run, and this is during the run.
Right.
It has to happen. So I mean, you've already cut away the best, spend or lose an extra click card, taking it right out. So what I feel that, and I'll throw this on the dartboard right now. I'm looking at this card and I'm kind of unfortunately thinking average. And I think it could be a good current. Like if there was a current that came out that really synergized with this, I think it's a good current away from moving more into the positive. Because I don't want to count on the runner. Like both you guys said, the runner choosing what happens along the way when they encounter that Bioroid ice, right?
So I'm leaning it more in the below average.
Yeah. Well, I guess if we're talking about you need that Bioroid lose a click stuff, then you probably want to play Architects of Tomorrow anyway, right? If you have that much Bioroid in there.
Seems like you getting money efficiency is better than you potentially recurring a card in a faction that has a ton of cards that recur cards.
Yeah, that's true. So I'm definitely willing to let it slide to below average.
Hey Hollis, how you feeling?
Yeah,
I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's terrible. I mean, recursion is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like basically, the recursion, in my opinion, the recursion would have to be a card that they would have to put a card back that would reliably be useful as soon as it starts to happen. So like a hedge fund, if it, like anything not hedge fund or IPO or something like that is like, okay, well, you put back a Friends in High Places, but there's nothing in my discard pile, my archives to even give back. So this is kind of like I have a spare card. I'm going to put it as below average.
All right, there we have it. That was pretty good.
There we go. It could have easily gone worse. We might have been a little soft on it.
But what's funny about it is I feel like if enhanced login protocol worked the way we want it to, it would actually possibly be like average or maybe even good.
It's true.
Because then you would know you would have a current that's already incredibly taxing, and then you could almost like pretty, there would have to be a direct like a current counter to not make your ability to trigger all the time.
Yeah.
So not having that hurts it so much.
Yeah. So,
but I think that goes to what Jameson's saying is that it is like a current away from bringing it up a little bit.
Yeah. Now it's a current away from being somewhat neutral, like on the average scale here.
Yeah.
All
right.
Next up is our first agenda. This is brain rewiring. This is a 3-1, and it's when you score brain rewiring, you may pay X amount of credits to force the runner to add X amount of cards from his or her grip to the bottom of his or her stack at random, then draw one card. Probably the pause there made it sound different than it is, so I'll just split that over again. Force the runner to add X amount of cards from his or her grip to the bottom of his or her stack at random, then draw one card. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you have a way to do like 2 damage to the runner, you could in theory kill him with this, right? Or set him up for a kill. That's a lot of ifs though.
Yeah.
Because you would need to splash out a faction to get a card that can do that.
And let me just clarify something too here, because it's on the page for the listeners. The unofficial FAQ says, "What is randomized by brain rewiring? Which cards are selected from the grip or the order they are put on the bottom of the stack?" And the answer is both.
Boom.
Forever. I don't know, guys. This doesn't really scratch any itch.
Yeah, it's a 3-1, which is already a tough spot to get because you usually want to litter your deck down with a bunch of 3-1s.
Yep.
And I don't really know of a lot of HB decks that want to run a bunch of agendas. Yeah, it's a neat idea. I'm just not a big fan of it.
Yeah, like in general, in order for a 3-1 to even see play in a deck that isn't like a someone mentioned CI. Like in order for a 3-1 to see play in a deck that isn't like a combo week sort of deal, it has to be incredibly impactful. Like that means when I score that 3-1, it needs to be the ability on it probably should be better than existing 3-2s, right? Because it's the same investment for one less point. That means the ability is going to be stronger. That's the balance. That's the concept of the balance there. Well, the expected balance concept. But the issue here is that not only are you investing the cost of the 3-1, but then they want you to pay more money to get this to magnify this effect. So if you scored this 3-1 and you paid nothing else, that's it. It's just a 3-1. You get no other added benefit. And at the moment I start paying more money for this added effect, the question I have to ask myself is, let's say I pay 2 credits. I technically have scored a 5-1, right? Or whatever, a 4-1. If you want to look at exact cost to credit ratio, or closer to that, and then I'm thinking, would I score ever a 4-1 to put 2 cards at random from my opponent's hand above of their deck? No, probably not.
No, and I think so. Did you have anything else?
No, that's pretty much it. Like I think the card's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like,
So when there's a couple things that stick out at me when I look at a card like brain rewiring. as soon as I see, like, you open your pack and you look at a card like this, you're like, oh, it's purple, and then you see when you score, and I always think when you score, I always think Bifrost Array, right? Like, because I mean, let's be honest, I think we're still waiting for some really awesome, agendas in HB, because Bifrost is an HB agenda, so I mean it can only be in HB decks. So I think we're still looking for that ultimate Bifrost combo for that reason to include Bifrost. So you look at this card and you're like, well, would I even want to do this ability again? And I'm like, I don't even care about it. I don't understand, like Hollis said, the value you're getting out of it. I think where this card would be good is in something like Cybernetics, because you're playing, say, an HB damage deck, so you want them to have lower hand size. But the cards are not being discarded; they're just going to the bottom. So it's not like you're milling them through. They know where they are. They're just, it's going to take longer, and maybe the game doesn't get that long, but I'm paying just to move cards away that they're just going to spend clicks to draw up. I really wish that this card was something else. I really wish maybe it was like an over advance for every token, or for every advancement past 3. Maybe it's like, automatically discard 2 cards. So there's some kind of more value out of it, right? Or it was something damage related, like these cards get discarded, not put back to the bottom. I just don't like the design here. And being a 3/1, it's already going to be really hard to build a composition around this.
Yeah.
Right, like realistically, wouldn't you rather just, score the 2-0 and then turn it into a 1-pointer?
Yeah, because you can score that out of hand.
Yeah, right. Like,
you're not gonna waste, any triple click stuff to get this guy out.
No.
You could play this like really funny, like everything you have goes to the bottom of your deck with like this card of Will-O-Wisp, just to troll your opponent super hard.
But it's still random, right? Like,
it's terrible.
The order is random, and the cards you access is random. So I mean, like, if it was something like one of those HB identities where it was the runner reveals his hand, and then I get to pick what cards are moved over. Oh shit, yeah, that's probably get me at least considering this. But as of right now, I'm not. I don't want to
quote it. Oh shit, yeah.
Oh,
I guess
shit.
you're probably at least considering Jameson.
Yeah.
Stamp that on this card.
Yeah, that's flavor text. That's the oh shit yeah level clearance. Right, I don't know. So I mean, where are you guys thinking here? Bad. Yeah.
Bad.
Man, already
Okay,
the first 2 cards in the.
All right, come on, HB.
Yeah.
Let's wake it up.
Pull it up.
All right, let's see if this next one can do it. You ready? Elective upgrade. Agenda, initiative, advance 5, score 3. Oh, 5-3, guys.
Oh, 5-3. What do you got for me?
Place 2 agenda counters on elective upgrade when you score it. Click, spend a host agenda counter, gain 2 clicks. Use this ability only once per turn. So
I'm gaining clicks. I'm fast advancing, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, but you gotta do it off of 5-3 as opposed to efficiency committee. It's 4-2.
Yes.
But it's different, right?
It is different. You get more flexibility.
You do get more flexibility.
Yeah.
Which is always good.
It is always good.
Even in relationships.
Yeah.
It's even good in relationships.
Yeah, it's because those with these tokens you are allowed to advance.
Correct. And it's not like you can actually take the advanced action.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
with efficiency committee being in creation and control, being that card will never rotate out, being
True.
that we've already seen that there's so many ways to cheat the system.
You're right.
And advance shit out anyway.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, so we looked at the weakness of the 3-1, right? A lot of it, 3 advancements for only 1 point, and now we're to the weakness of the 5-3, where it's like, all right, so if it's not defensive, the ability's got to be good enough to say, hey, I justified the inclusion. This ability is there. I think that getting the ability 2 counters, count them, 2 counters to get an extra like click, like unimpeded with no restriction, is fantastic. But you got to work for it.
Yeah, I agree.
You actually got to work for it. Yeah.
Right.
Wouldn't this be like the reverse, right? Because normally, don't you see a lot of HP decks that try to score out like 2 quick 3/2s, and then they finish with like a GFI that once they've kind of built the server? And I feel like this one gives you the option to do the opposite, right? You try to rush this out early.
Yeah.
Maybe you can get lucky and the runner doesn't get it, and then you can just score 3/2s from hand.
Yeah.
Man,
or any
that's
combination.
also
right?
a good point.
Like any, if tell me, well, I mean, any combination of that where you know that the biotic labor is going to allow you to score the 3/2. If this is scored and you have the biotic labor, you know you're going to be able to score the 4/2. And then of course, if you have a San, this scored and a biotic labor, or 2 biotic labor in this, it gets insane. But I do think like when we're talking about power level of 5/3s, I don't know how you get much better than straight up saying gain effectively twice you can gain a click. No restrictions. Gain a click. And knowing that your corp...
Well, come on. There is a restriction. You can only gain 1 click a turn.
True. Well, yeah.
Sure. You got them. I mean, you could also use it in those ever-important turns to, say, purge and still do something. I mean, you've got so much variety when you have 4 clicks a turn as a corp. It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But... I don't know. I mean, I do think it is a pretty impactful ability to be on the 5/3. It does have the negative that it doesn't have a way to defend itself outside of other stuff you do to try to keep this agenda safe.
Yeah, and I think you were almost on the right tracks there, Corey, when you're talking about where you want to see this scored. Right? Like, you really want to try and pump out a 5/3 early to mid, to get value out of its ability. Like, I mean, obviously, if you're 3 points away from winning the game at the end of the game and you pop this out, then yeah, okay, a 5/3 was worth it in your deck. But as the game goes on longer, you kind of, want to make sure that your 5/3s that you still have in your deck are defensive, right? Because you assume that points are being scored on both sides of the field, and then if you get your 5/3 sniped later in the game, then that's a kick in the nuts.
Sad times.
Yeah. So I don't know, guys. It's not.
I think it's a. I mean, if we're gonna throw ratings out,
let's do that.
Yeah, I guess that's what we're doing, right? I'm leaning towards above average.
Yeah, because you know what I think. I think in a vacuum, I think this could go higher. But I think when you look at the other 5/3s that are fighting for slots, I think that's what pulls it down.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I don't think it's bad at all. I mean, it's got an impactful ability. If you can get out and score it, you've got a lot of variety with it.
Yeah. So are you guys? Obviously, you have the sheets up, right? So where in above average does this fight for a spot?
I mean, I would probably put it at the top. Agendas, an above average agenda is pretty good.
Oh yeah.
And it's well, above average, not quite good. So, that's just where I like it.
Look at that.
I do. I mean, I do think it's a better card than Bloodletter. I think it's a better card than Armored Servers. So I mean, I think it's a better card than.
Look at already -1 slot past all these guys.
Sorry, Waylon.
Yeah. Actually, I don't. We don't have to rate these guys here because we'll just do this all as initial. And if they move, they'll move after.
Are we ready? Keep going.
Yeah.
Any other notes on that? Or are we all good?
No, that was fine.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Talk about my boy Floyd. Floyd.
Successful field test. Hey, speaking of 4-2 agendas.
That's Floyd on the card, by the way. That's Floyd right there.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yep. Trust me.
Okay.
When you score a successful field test, install any number of cards from HQ, ignoring all costs.
Hello. That's better than a click token.
Is it? You think so?
Yeah.
I mean, there's some interesting things, right? I mean, of course, this will depend on what you have in your hand. So let's say, like, you install advance this, okay? You score it out, and you're sitting on a hand of 5 cards. I guess your best case is, like, maybe you have ice, an agenda, and you just then, like, build a server, install the agenda. Or you then get to just add in the rest of your upgrades to your server. Or use a bunch of assets you can throw down for free.
So this is the I like the 4-2 here. This is the best one, I think.
I mean, that seems pretty strong, actually. I mean, if you think about how many extra clicks you can gain off of it, if you're able to do it. Now, granted, if you're operation heavy, you're not going to be able to do a lot when you score this card.
So when you score it, install any number of cards from HQ, ignoring the cost. So any cards from your hand, right? You're talking about a Glacier faction that can all of a sudden pump out any number of ice all in the same server, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
That's value, man.
Value.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean, it seems really good. I mean, I'm sure there's also some neat tricks if you could chain it off like other agendas with extra clicks, because you could then like score it, pop another agenda out, and then score that out as well if you have a bunch of extra clicks. I mean, it seems like something that could be really nasty in like CI combo decks and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
They just get a shitload of cards in their hand and they score it, and then they just like install their hand.
Yeah.
So,
does this
seems so
does this
stupid.
trigger off Bifrost?
Is it a win score ability?
I don't know, because it says when you score. Like, is the U supposed to be there? Like, wasn't there some weird wording for Bifrost?
That's pretty ridiculous, though. I don't know. Someone want to pull up Bifrost Array?
Bifrost Array says when you score Bifrost Array, you may trigger the when scored ability of another agenda that is not a copy of Bifrost.
Yes. Then that should work. It should.
Not that gives it any extra value there, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah. That is pretty cool. I mean, it seems good. It seems like there's a lot of neat applications you can have with it. I mean, the biggest thing is this click efficiency. Like, you could almost gain an extra turn off of it, even if you just install 3 cards off of triggering it, right?
Yep.
Then you've pretty much scored it and gained another turn. So it's like another way of gaining clicks, in a sense. And it's targeted, so it's not like there's no like random. It doesn't make you have to install everything, correct?
Yeah.
You can choose what you want to install out of it. So you can be selective.
I think this is, if you guys are following along, I really think this is a good, it like falls in the good category. We have Illegal Arms Factory and Colossus already in there. I kind of think it just falls at the bottom of good.
Illegal Arms. Okay.
Like, I'll tell you that it's just because you're ignoring all install costs. I mean, if it was like
Yeah.
we've seen before on some of the templating where it's like install X amount of cards but still pay their cost, obviously that would make this a lot more garbage. But the ignore all costs,
It's good.
Yeah.
And you can layer stuff up.
Hollis,
So-
So, like, I'm inclined to put it above success. Oh gosh, what is it? What's the name of it? The asset.
Illegal Arms Factory.
Yeah, I'm kind of
I'm,
inclined.
I'm okay with it being at the top of good.
okay, hey, I
Wow.
was just
I
trying
mean,
to be
that's what it is.
conservative.
That's above Illegal Arms Factory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only
Like-
two other cards we have in the good category
Yeah.
from the corp side.
All right, let's
Yeah.
let's move on before anyone changes their mind. All
Yeah.
right. Who wants to do the honors here?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Still noon.
Not a hair out of place.
Asset, executive, res 2, trash 3, influence 2. Whenever you install a card in the server, place one power counter and install moon. Yay! It's power counter card, by the way. Notate
I wonder
that.
where this is going.
Helium 3 deposit. Anyway, trash effect. Draw one card and gain 2 for each power counter on Estelle Moon.
I wonder where this is going for you. I can't wait to hear where it's going.
I mean, I've already played against the stupid lock decks that
Yeah.
run this, and it's goddamn miserable, but whatever.
Yeah.
But it's miserable because of the power level of the moon.
The moon.
Yes.
I just get mooned.
Yes.
Mooned hard.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's good. It's got neat applications. It's
So you're saying the term
asset
good is
spam,
it
make
like
a bunch of money.
is it not great?
I mean, so here's the deal, right?
Yeah.
You install it, sure. And then she just layers up money, and then it's a trash effect that then puts cards and money back into your hand. Yeah, that's great.
Yep.
It's great. It's what you're doing, right? And it's like if you look at ETF is like, hey, are you playing Netrunner? Here's money.
Oh.
Yep.
And then Estelle's like, hey, are you also playing Netrunner? Are you playing with a lot of these assets that everyone loves? Their favorite. Man, would it be cool if there was like a card that also put like multiple assets in play at once?
That would be cool. Why don't you tell me about a card that does that? I can't wait.
Yeah. What if you had a card that let you install all these assets for your hand?
Tell me
What if you
can't wait.
What if you just scored a card that you install all these cards through your hand for free? And you had something like this out and you made a ton of money and then drew every card in your deck. I don't know. It's crazy.
Wow.
It's
Interesting.
it's pretty interesting to me because like we've known for a long time, it's been the case in Netrunner that in general, like other than just click efficiency, so one click equaling cards and credits, which this card does, having the ability to fire on a trash means that this means that this card gains instant speed. So it again gives you an added advantage on the corp side. So that if you've already done your installation, so you've said Resistel Moon, install one server, install a piece of ice, and then Friends of High Places, which is another 2 installs. So I've got 3 counters on the Stone Moon. So I'm going to gain 3 cards and 6 credits, or what have you. The fact remains is, even after that has happened, the runner still has to either A, leave it alone, B, play a card that would get rid of it out of their hand, like I don't know, any like whatever card they can play to trash it, or C, run it, meaning you'll immediately use it. So you've drained a click from the runner, and you still get the benefit of the card, which is just massive. This is the same reason why that Jackson Howard was so powerful is so powerful. Because in addition to fixing your game state, it gives you it's a trash ability, so it kind of taxes that runner the click a little bit. On a lot of instances, it taxes that runner that click on top of doing what it does. So this is clearly good no matter what. Like this is auto good. I don't think this card was ever not good.
I can't believe the stack value that you get from it though, right? Like
Right.
So for like every counter, a card and 2 credits.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And all you have to do is just install a card in a server.
Not even the server that she's in, Corey?
Not even. Just a server.
She's executive, that's why, eh? Does
That's
whatever
it.
the F she
she's,
wants.
She's got them credentials. She's got those clearances.
Oh my god. To influence guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, whatever. She's great.
She's great.
She's at the bottom of great.
What?
Well,
What?
because Hunter Seeker and Scorpios is sitting there.
I think she's above.
I think she's above Scorpios.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she's above too.
I don't think she's as good as Hunter Seeker. I think Hunter Seeker, like, she just fuels the same stuff that HB is doing. It's like, oh, shocker, they install stuff, make money. They've been doing that since Core Set, man. It's old hat.
You said old hat?
Yeah, but Hunter Seeker just changes the way you have to play. You have to tiptoe and be cautious, otherwise those beautiful toys you have on the board can just go away.
Yeah.
So, all right. Hey, it's good. We made it. We made it through there, guys. Nice work. All right, here we go. Marilyn campaign. Oh, weird. Assets. Advertisement. Take note.
I like the HB campaigns. They're always interesting. We haven't seen one in a while.
Yeah, and this is old Marilyn. Res 2, Trash 3, Influence 1. Oh, Influence 1. Crazy. Place 8 credits on Marilyn campaign when it's resed. When there are no credits on the Marilyn campaign, trash it. Okay. Take 2 from Marilyn campaign when your turn begins. All right. Seems okay. If Marilyn campaign is trashed while installed...
Wait, time out. Before you continue with the next one, it trashes itself, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, when there's no credits here. Yeah.
Continue.
Sure. You may shuffle it in R&D instead of adding it to archives.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
What? What is that? Like...
So it's just like...
This is the card that doesn't end? Does it go on and on, my friends?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, some people
Yeah.
started playing it not knowing what it was.
What is the quote that's in the artwork? I can't read it. It's a happy childhood.
I don't know, man. I'll tell you, for one influence, this is probably one of the craziest campaigns yet, right? Like Eve, Adonis, and Rex.
I mean, what's also
Not including, and those are just the HP ones. I'm not including
But
Launch
also-
and Pad. Launch and Pad
Yeah.
are just there.
one influence in advertisement also gives something interesting to Spark because like it can fire and then it puts itself back in the deck to come up and have you res again. It's just cute. It's cute like that. So it's like a reoccurring. Oh, a happy childhood lasts a lifetime. Thanks, Alice.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's fine. Like, it's almost like FFG was like, man, are you telling me that HB has to run a region to reduce the cost of their assets and then they go away forever? Nonsense. Give them one for free forever. Like, that's pretty much what happened here.
Yeah.
Is they were like, Eve campaign, what? They're running another card to make Eve campaign cost 0? Nonsense. Give them one that costs 2. It doesn't terminate. Like, that's clearly the better choice here, right?
They just have to wait. They have to wait for it.
Yeah.
They have to be patient. They have
Right.
to invest it back and wait for it to show back up.
So guys, I'm in the positives with this card, but how high does it go?
Good. I think it's good. I think good's fair.
It really? You're not.
Does it go really great?
I don't know. I'm.
God, I mean, it's.
The
Is this an auto include in every HP deck?
Every?
Well,
Maybe. Okay, so you know what?
I don't know.
You know what's pushing me up? You know what's pushing me up the scales here is the very, very small influence that it costs.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's
I
true. One
agree.
influence gives a lot of versatility. And, you know.
Oh, it's an advertisement. Oh,
Yeah, you did not hear my whole Spark rant?
sorry about that. No,
There's
that's
one.
cool.
There's one person who's playing that deck who's just like, "Oh man, sweet advertisement, yay!"
Guys, I'm telling you that I really I think this might be the bottom of great. I think that reoccurring, like you're gonna have to snipe these out of R&D in hand, and then at that point, at that point you're
Then they just print in high places and install. They're like, thanks, bro.
Yeah.
They install it. And then you're just like, no, the cycle begins.
No, but I mean, like, at that point, now you're forced to pay the 3 credits, right? Like, it's a 3 credit drain. And that's pretty good value.
Yeah. I respect your argument for bottom of grade, and I will lean in that direction.
Awesome.
Hollis is going to try to pull it down.
Yep.
Shit! I already put it in. I wrote it in pen. Go ahead, though.
I think it's good, but like, maybe I'm being weird about this, but I don't necessarily think I don't think it's outright always better than Eve. Like, the fact that it can come back infinitely effectively is very, very cool. It's very good.
It does have a lower investment because it's only 2 to res.
Right.
So it breaks even its first drip, and then you effectively net 6 credits off of it.
True, but like the decks that we're using, like before we were using Breaker Bay Grid, we were getting Eve being rezzed for 0. So we were getting, like, a overall an effective better investment with more card cost. But we had the added advantage of also getting a super amazing Adonis campaign, which means that if you're running both of these, I guess you could still run Breaker Bay, but I don't really know if you rationalize the inclusion as heavily. I think maybe you consider other slots now.
You could play an option where maybe you do something that's a cheaper upfront cost.
Right.
So, because with this only being 2 and then Adonis being a lower, you maybe don't do so much Eve.
Right.
I mean, Eve does have the added ability of, like, she's expensive to trash, so she just kind of exists on merit of the runner just doesn't want to invest the money, especially if they've got to get through ice to get to it.
I gotta say that this is, like, if you look at, like, Hollis, where are you saying Daily Cast would be?
If I was going to review Daily Cast?
Yeah.
Well, it's a little different.
No, I know that, because the install cost is different, yes, so, yeah. It's a little different. Same take 2, put 8 installs.
I would put Daily Cast is good.
So what if I told you
like
that there was a daily cast that cost 1 less to install, and when it got done giving you money, it put itself back in your deck?
I mean, that's still very. I think it might be great. It might be, but the reason why I'm reserved on this is that I think that recurring it back in the deck is good. It increases your deck density, and that it means that it can come back out again to be useful. But with a card like Friends in High Places, I see that there is a power involved with allowing cards to go to the archives. And then a card like Breaker Bay Grid, there's a power that's there when you can reduce that cost to 0. So, like, by cards actually going to archives, I think there's a small room to argue that certain cards actually are better as a result. Like, by Marilyn going back into the deck, you invest initially, you don't really lose anything, but you don't gain anything either. Whereas with Eve going to the discard pile and having Adonis is also in the deck, Breaker Bay makes those cards not only better than simply having Marilyn by itself without Breaker Bay, but it also means that other assets other assets that get played are pretty damn good. Like they're even better than they were. Like instead of Adonis gaining you whatever the cost, like oh my god, instead of Adonis gaining you, my brain 8 credits over 3 turns, is that right? 8 over 3 because it costs 4 to res. Yeah. Instead, it's like, all right, so Adonis just straight up gains full profit with Breaker Bay. And then Eve campaign would gain you 2 from the moment you res it with Breaker Bay. Whereas I feel like if you run Marilyn, you're more inclined to draw Breaker Bay. So those cards are generating overall less economy, even though you're getting it back.
Okay. But let's say you were playing with this card, Estelle Moon, all right? Stay with me. And you want to keep, like, getting cards to keep installing. And what if you had, like, a card that puts itself back? Another neat thing, and this also seems subtle.
If you pair this with Engineering the Future, I'll lose my cool.
Yeah. But also, sometimes it's actually pretty cool to have built-in reshuffle mechanics. just as ways to shuffle your deck up.
Yeah.
I mean, indexing is kind of all over the place.
Right.
And so having like some of those timed and drip to where they can trigger a reshuffle could be pretty neat if the runner's not immediately able to capitalize on the indexing. Or they try to set something up to plan for another turn, and you're just like, I'm just gonna
right. Like
trigger this reshuffle.
you know, well said. Having the shuffle is really cool because
Yeah.
it's not just put it on the bottom.
Right.
So I'll compromise. I'm with you guys. Let's put it on the bottom of grade. Let's do it. You got me. You convinced me, gentlemen.
Boom.
You convinced. It's terrible. Put it under terrible. No.
No. Veto.
Hollis, how about as a consolation
There's
prize,
a small child on this card.
You can read the next card.
Oh my god.
I get to read the next one?
Yeah, you get to. You win.
I can't wait. So the next card is Eli 2.0. It's a Ice Barrier Bioroid, 5 res cost, 4 strength, and 2 influence. The runner may spend 2 clicks to break up to 2 subroutines on Eli 2.0. Its subroutines are the corp may draw 1 card in the run and in the run. Flavor text. A new game means new rules.
Hey, that was actually pretty good. You could be one of the trailer voices.
Yeah, I can't wait. Can't wait to get paid for that. Oh, nice. Hey, nice alt art.
So let me just ask you this question. Would you pay $100 for an Eli 2.0?
Hell no. What? Hello?
Well, then I guess it's not better than Eli 1 then, since and so that makes this what terrible.
Yeah, it's he's so sad because he'll never be as good as his better younger self.
Yeah,
he's old now, man.
He's so sad.
He peaked at 8.
Yeah,
he peaked at 8 years old.
He's done.
Child protege.
Yeah.
Yeah. God. He's just got that. Oh man, people waited so long for this 2.0 of Eli. You know, how many sets came out? Someone's like, when am I going to get that Eli 2.0? When's it going to happen? No. And then they were like, hold on. Actually, Eli goes to the watch list. How about that? Why don't we do that first? And then people were like, oh man, Eli 1.0 is so good. And then they're like, oh, we're going to get it. We're going to get 2.0. What does he do? I'm just going to keep playing with Eli 1.0.
Yep.
Where's this go, guys? We don't need to dwell on this. How low?
I don't think it's bad.
No, Bioroid synergy, like what, below average then?
Yeah. I would give it average.
Oh, even average, huh?
I mean, it's still Eli. His name carries a little bit of weight.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Hollis, where are you saying? Because
bad.
So, if you were able to pay 1 for this, if you triggered it off Architects of Tomorrow,
you're
do you think it'd be bad?
You're stretching this, man. No,
yeah.
I don't.
So you get 2 in the runs and routines.
That's why.
God, he's the same strength. God, it's not even no.
It's not even pound for pound. Like if it was 5 credits and 5 strings, I would at least be like, all right,
this is not the George St. Pierre of ice. It's not pound for pound the best ice in the game.
Yeah.
This is bad.
What?
Yes.
You know what though, Hollis? You gotta. This is an example of you just getting too greedy sometimes. I said below average. Corey said average. You could have just been like, you know what is below average, and it could have just went there easily.
But it's actually like when I think about like building a regular constructed Netrunner deck, right? Like the card, like at least 6 ice come to my head immediately. At least 6, and like they're like a combination of Architect, Itchy, Eli 1, Sadir Adaptive Barrier, it's the Vanilla also come to mind. And then finally, I have cards like Fairchild 3. Mm. So when I think about the 6 some odd ice that I could probably an Enigma, right? When I think about the 6
Rose, like what? Jeez, did Eli go and do that?
I think so.
Little bastard. He was lurking on my end of the screen.
Yeah, I think it'll come back in a second here.
Okay.
There you go.
He's mad at us, but his card's actually bad. God
Man,
dang.
I'll tell you, yeah. Eli is in the system. He's in the tubes, man. In YouTubes
Yeah.
and Me tubes.
The Me tubes.
No.
Wait, I think we're back.
Yeah.
I think we're
We
back.
are back. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. Well, let's keep rolling. Eli bad. Eli 2.0 bad. Sorry.
Eli
Just a
2.0 bad.
Clarification.
Sorry. Clarification. That's what it is. It's bad.
Sequels are not always better.
Hey,
That's what I'm
under
saying.
brain rewiring or above.
Probably better than brand rewiring.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I got that as well. All right, next up.
All right, here we go. We are at executive functioning. ICE, Codegate, AP, Tracer, Res 2, Strength 1, Influence 3. Trace 4. If successful, do 1 brain damage.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, there's errata. Does the trace for the subroutine executive functioning need to be successful to do the brain damage? Yes. Interpret the text as if it said, if successful.
Oh, okay. Alrighty. Yes.
Because on the actual card it just says trace 4, do 1 brain damage. Yeah. Template. Classic.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know, guys. I think it's gonna come off as an awful card, but I think I wanted to say average right away.
It's a strength 1 code gate.
Yeah. No.
It's a trace 4. It doesn't have it has to win a trace to fire the ability.
But brain damage can't be just like raining down from the sky. You gotta it's still gotta be that 1 damage that's the strongest of the damages and
So
hard to pull off, right?
I guess. But I guess the thing is, like, if the runner runs this, right, they don't know you res it, and you're like, gotcha, you don't have a code gate breaker, trace 4. What you gonna do now? Oh, okay.
Whereas I keep getting server errors.
5 strength sentry. Okay, we've been here before. All right, that's usually a pretty good strength for a sentry. The trace starts off at a trace 4, and that's a pretty good effect. It's like almost kind of like a janky in the run,
Sort of. Yeah.
because like they can still go through, but then they can't access anything. So they can still have a successful run if they're trying to trigger successful run effects, but they're not doing anything when they get there. So it just kind of depends on what they're doing and whether it's useful. Like if they're siphoning you or if they're doing some other effect, it's not going to stop anything like that. And then the trash is very specific of an icebreaker. It's not a trasher program.
Which is interesting, right? Like, why not just like at like being a 7.5?
Yeah.
Why not just add trasher program?
Right. Because if you look at, I guess, like a comparison would be what, like Assassin, right? That's 7.5.
Yeah.
So it had to fire traces, and one trace was 3 net, another trace was. But the first subroutine, the runner can power through it with money, which runner economy is pretty strong right now.
Yep.
But are you saying should it just be trash a card for that price?
I think just trash a program. I think if it wasn't so limiting to having to specifically be an icebreaker,
So
it would be better.
does that leave it as average right now?
I kind of lean towards below average.
Actually, bad.
Haas is going bad.
Yeah,
I'm going below.
I'll say below. So.
It plays in with your Norse, I guess, that theme. If you want another thing, but this guy doesn't want to be a Bioroid like everybody else.
Tap.
He's like, yeah, the whole tapestry.
Yeah.
All right, we're almost there, guys. Ice, Code Gate, Res 5, Strength 6, Influence 1. The runner loses the click if able. The corp may draw 1 card, and the corp may add 1 card from HQ to the top of R&D. Yeah, it's got some crazy artwork on it.
I mean, obviously, this is
painful to look at.
ID and faction support.
Yeah, it's one It's one influence. Would you splash this? What decks would splash this?
The corp may add one card from HQ to the top. I mean, it's Jinteki weird, right?
It is Jinteki weird. Because you can think of a lot of instances where we're making them lose a click. Okay, net damage decks. Costing the runner clicks, pretty cool. And then drawing a card. Okay, that's cool. See what it is, and then you can add a card from HQ to the top of R&D. And a 5/6 code gate's pretty good.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think this is at least above average, borderline good.
Yeah, I think I'm good with the above average vote on it. I mean, it's not ending the run, but it's high enough that if you put in situations where the runner encounters it, they don't really want to pay money to break this.
No.
And if they do break it, they hate it.
Hollis, you thinking the same?
Yes, yeah, kind of. I mean, I'll say this. My opponent was playing this card in particular in their deck. I haven't played with it, but I played against it. And at the times at the times I ran against it, I was accessing like multiple cards. And so, or the times it got fired, I was accessing multiple cards. So it actually felt like this wasn't too bad. Like, yeah, they're putting a card in their hand back on top of their deck as one of the subroutines, but they're also reducing their deck size. So in this weird sort of way, it almost incentivized, in addition to me running R&D, it then would incentivize me running HQ later, because I knew they got additional cards in their hand. And effectively, there were some instances where I let every part of this card fire and just said, whatever, I don't care.
Yeah.
Which I think is not that ridiculous. It's a 6-strength code gate. Like, that's not cheap. With 3 subs, it's not cheap.
I saw someone post someone having subroutines. They're just going to let fire. Better call Slee. Get your cheap Slee shows up. It's like, what? That's 3 subroutines you're just going to let go off. Oh, I'm there. So funny. Yeah, I mean, I think it's I said above average at least.
Where?
And there's going to be instances where you can do some pretty annoying stuff with it, and it's taxing if the runner feels like they have to deal with it.
Corey, where do you think in that list?
Probably the bottom of above average.
Done. Next up.
It's an early blush there.
Ultraviolet clearance. Okay,
man.
We just got to pound these 2
clearances out.
Masons at the bottom. 2 clearances and a mason left. Let's go.
Perfect. So, just real quick, I know we're trying to get through this, but this artwork, what is happening? Anyway, Operation Transaction triple cost 6 influence 4.
A triple.
Triple. As additional cost to play this operation, spend 2 clicks. Hey, that's what triple means. Gain 10 credits and draw 4 cards. Install 1 card, paying all costs. If there were hidden partitions in the server, I'd know. I'm the head of this department.
I think this is good, isn't it? This is good.
I mean, it's only 6 credits in your whole turn, but you net 4, get 4 cards, and install a card. I mean, isn't this like another great card for like CI decks? Isn't that who loves all these cards, or CI decks?
So would you rather...
It seems like if there's a card that's made that gains you credits, draws cards.
So wait, maybe it goes to above average.
Okay.
Mostly because I'm thinking of comparing it to what Day Job. Right, Day Job is very low influence. It's 1.
You spend your whole turn to effectively net 8 credits.
And you spend your whole turn. Day Job costs 2. This costs 6. So basically, the payoff and extra on this card is the 4 card draw you get plus an install of 1 card, but you have to pay the cost.
Yeah, I mean, this is a dangerous thing to play outside of CI because this takes your whole turn, and you don't want to spend your whole turn and then add 4 cards to your hand.
Yeah. Unless you're really low, unless there's a reason for it, but
yeah. And I mean, the clearance, like the clearance level cards are pretty notorious, right, for almost perfectly balancing out drawing cards with gaining the money available to sustain the cards you draw in CI. And this card is no exception. Like, this is clearly a design to be with CI.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's kind of hard, like, because it's so specific, right? You're not gonna. I don't think you're gonna play it outside of CI, and knowing that means that the card is automatically limited.
Yeah.
And then it's like, all right, so on the power level compared to like blue level, green level.
Yeah, but
and
then you're
violet,
gonna have
violet.
those CI players that are gonna chastise you because it's so good in CI, even though you knocked it for only being able to be played in CI.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough.
I mean, I think above average is probably the right spot, but I would put it at the bottom of above average,
Yeah.
just because it's limited to a certain deck.
I hit the other one up, man.
Oh, hey, look, it's another clearance. This is a black level clearance. Oh, wait, but this is an upgrade. Security Protocol, Res 4 Trash 1, Influence 5. An Influence 5 card. Whenever there's a successful run on the server, the runner must either take 1 brain damage or jack out. If the runner jacks out, gain 5 credits, draw a card, and trash black level clearance.
Huh.
Yeah. Even knowing this floor existed was cause for termination.
I like that, actually.
Yeah.
I like that.
So this is kind of like your another defensive upgrade, right? You res it, and then it's like, hey, are you willing to take a brain? Or are you done? And if the runner's like, I'm taking this brain, and I'm taking your shit, you're like, damn it. Okay, cool, I did a brain to you. Yep. But if they jack out, you're like, sweet, I gained $5, which is really gets you $1 back.
I really wish the res cost was a little lower.
But hey, there was a guy on this show who was talking about Breaker Bay Grid being a pretty cool card. If you had this on Breaker Bay, you didn't pay anything to res it, and you netted $5, and you got a card.
Hey. I don't know who the guy was, but I like him.
Yeah, but now you're rating a card based on a combo.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I don't think this card is adequate protection. And to me, I really feel like the reason why it is 5 influence is because it effectively says take a brain or in the run.
So what do you do? Yeah. Do you basically just put this by itself and just
see if they hit it
unprotected?
Well, I mean, that's interesting, but also it's an upgrade, right?
Yeah.
So you could also put this on like your centrals.
Yeah, I mean that's why it's got versatility, right? So if you
then they come into R&D or they come into HQ and you're like, hey, are you going to take this brain to make this run?
But if they run at this card, they have to access, right? If it's totally unprotected.
Yeah.
Is that?
But you res it. Yeah. And it's whenever you res it before it's considered a successful run. So you have to res it beforehand, and then when the run is successful, it triggers its ability.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like, I definitely like it on a central.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably the best spot. I don't know how great it is guarding a remote. But on centrals, it's pretty interesting. Oh. It doesn't immediately, like, to me, it's not immediately...
It's not going to be an auto include. It's not going to be all that stuff. I think it's gonna have a home in certain decks. But yeah. I do think it's interesting enough to say that this is probably above average.
Above average, eh?
Yeah.
I'll lean it to average.
I would actually lean it to terrible. No, I would lean it to below average, actually, if it was me.
So I guess
I guess it's average. Is it better than Mr. Stone?
Yes.
Okay. All right, what's next, guys?
I just said that. No one even argued with me.
No.
All right.
I don't know.
All right, so the last card we've got on this fun-filled episode of Eli 2.0 shenanigans.
The last card is Damon Stone. Mason Bellamy.
Be careful, because Mr. Stone is already a card. This is not Damon Stone. Confusing one guy with another black guy might be considered racist. So we have to be careful with how we look at.
So he's an upgrade assist op, res 2, trash 3, influence 3. Whenever an encounter with a piece of ice protecting the server ends, in which the runner broke at least one subroutine, he or she loses a click if able. They say he is an ex-runner. I don't know if it is true, but he is chrome to the gills and seems to know all the runner's tricks.
Sounds like somebody that I know. They recently celebrated a birthday.
How did Lucas not get his art in the game? He didn't play his cards right. How's that little pun?
Yeah.
Isn't it 5 years?
What?
I think it's a 5 year. I think it's getting your own your own caricature in a game is a 5 year reward for being an FFG.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 5 years. So I don't know if Lucas has been there for 5 years, but if he has, that means his card will be coming out soon. But I don't know in what game.
So, what? Destiny?
What? Destiny, maybe.
Whenever an encounter with a piece of ice protecting the server ends, in which the runner broke at least one subroutine, he or she loses a click if able.
So, I mean, yeah, it's a nice way if you want to have something that interacts with Cedar, right? Or Cider. Pretty neat with ELP, right? Because they spend a click to make the run. Yeah, and then if it's not their last click, I don't know.
Go back to the beginning where we said before, like, so many people have tried to do click taxes.
Yeah.
Right? Like, look what you had before. With, River Valley, ELP, Strongbox. Like, you had all this shit available to you, but none of that stuff got played. Nobody really cared. I mean, is this just taking a click away from the end goal of I just got to advance some agendas out quickly?
Yeah, and the thing that seems really weird, right, is if you see, I mean, this seems like I feel like you would only play this in Cedar, or however you say it.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you're playing against another deck and they're running Bioroids, and you know this is there, then you naturally would probably just spend clicks to break Bioroid subroutines. Because you're like, I'm going to lose them anyway. I'm just going to spend it. So I'll go down to my last click to get in.
To me, I think this is so situational on the deck it needs to be in that it's just average.
Yeah.
Because, if you put it in a deck, you're going to get value out of it that it complements.
Yeah, I mean, because its trigger is most likely going to go off.
Yeah, but I really feel like you're going to need, like, 2 or 3 other pieces to make this good.
Mm-hmm. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with average.
Terrible. No, no. I actually think I agree with that. In Sadir, that's the obvious synergy. And beyond that, though, I think it's really hard to include because I feel like there might be, especially in the world of Caprice and still Ash, as long as Ash is in the game. I think there's probably going to be some better upgrades you can put there for it as a defensive upgrade.
Yeah, I guess if you ran it in like a next deck where it's like all next dice, so it's not stuff that they can spend clicks to break, and you play like with the Ash, that type of game, it could be interesting just to tax the runner again. Because they're already spending a ton of money, in theory, to get through a lot of the next dice, and then he can tax them a click. And so they prevent him from coming back in to get the Ash.
Three influences is hard on the versatility to move this.
Yeah.
Because it's so niche, right?
Yes.
I believe that's all of them, guys.
So, we did it.
You know what? Thank you very much. I know at the end there we glitched out. We had YouTube server issues. For anyone that was tuning in, this video is probably in 15 parts. I'll have to look to splice it together. But
This is adding to our episode catalog.
Yeah.
We just gained 3 extra videos.
I really don't have anything else to say. Trying to wrap this up quick before it cuts out again. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it, guys. Check out the new alt art on the Patreon. Like, subscribe, do all that, fun stuff.
Like it.
Like
and subscribe.
he's coming around to it. Look at that. You broke him.
The shirt may happen. We're gonna see, but I may have it at the Atlanta Regional in July. We'll see.
Oh man,
It may be present.
Anything else?
Nah, man, I think we're good.
That's it.
Boom.
Thank you for those who stuck around.
Have a good night, guys. Thank you for staying around.
Thank you. Only you can prevent forest fires. We're out. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week as we wrap this stuff up. Shaper. See you then.
Shapes.
If I release an album, I want my hands to be this big and my face to be that small. So people think I'm carrying my own face. How cool is that, right? Got him.
Got him. We're out.